Hey everyone, welcome back. So yeah, I got tagged in a tag video, obviously. So I got tagged by Jamie over at Muckman Movies. Great channel, go check this man out. Yep, so the tag, I think did Roy start it? I think maybe Roy started it over at Blue Roy Movies. And then Jamie's been tagged, obviously now he's tagged me, and another Neil's Movie channel, I think, as well, he tagged. Yeah, so we're going to do my top 10 90s. Now, obviously, this is sort of following the one that went around everywhere about the best movies or your favourite movies of the 21st century. So much like that one, this is going to be my personal list, obviously, it goes without saying. Movies that I kind of like had a real hard time picking out. I think I narrowed it down to 50 pretty quick, so I just scanned through my my app of all my collection by year and went through everything that I owned that was in the 90s. And made a short list basically from that, and I got it down to 50. I then sort of dwindled those down into the 10 that we've got here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 that were basically just battling to get into that 10th spot or into the top 10 list, and they were in and out. But they didn't quite make it on the final cut. So yeah, like always, a different day, a different time, maybe even later on this afternoon. If I'd have redone this list, it would probably be different. They're roughly in a ranked order as well. Again, no real sort of hard and fast rule for that one. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. What I will do, I'm going to do my, because I will forget if I don't do it at the start, I'm going to do this backwards. Most people tag people at the end of the video. I'm going to tag mine at the start of the video, just because, like I say, I'll get through the end of the video, completely forget, and then either having to do an extra bit of video or just put it in the comments. So, my 2 tags. I'm going to do 4 tags. I'm going to be a bit greedy. I'm going to do 4 tags. Now the reason is I want to do 2 tags from people that I watch. I've watched for a long time. So obviously my good friend Tim Cole, Tim Cole's Film Waffle. I always say Movie Waffle. I think I get it wrong. So yeah, Tim Cole. Everyone that watches my channel, I'm sure, will know Tim's channel. Solid guy, ready for him to sort of like get his stuff ready and do a 90s list. So hopefully, yeah, he can do this. Obviously, it goes without saying, you know, if any of these people I tag just haven't got the time, just don't fancy it, no pressure, no worry, just, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just a bit of fun. So don't feel bad if you can't do it, you don't want to do it, just, you know, or don't even let me know, it's fine. But if you want to take part and join in with a bit of a community kind of tag video, then here's the offer, feel free. And obviously if you're not tagged, feel free to do it. No one's going to, you know, bat an eye if anyone just jumps on this tag, I'm sure. So yeah, Tim Cole, my first one. Second one I'm going to do is Joff from Joffrey's Noodle Legs. So I think he did the films of the 21st century, but I don't think anyone actually got around to tagging him for that one, so I'm going to make sure I tag you on this one, pal. So you're in here for this tag video for the top 10 top 10 movies of the 90s. So I'll be interested to see what you have. So they're my sort of like my channels I've watched for a long time. I really enjoy, and the other 2 are basically going to be fresh channels. I'm going to do something slightly different. So I'm going to pick 2 channels. They've got no idea that this tag's coming. So they're going to be 2 different channels, 2 very different channels. But I literally found one channel on Sunday this week, just gone, filming this on a Thursday, probably go up on a Thursday. And I found, I think, one on the Monday or something around there. Literally 3 or 4 days. I've been trying to catch up on a few of their videos. So the first one is going to be, I've got to try and remember these names now because they're very fresh in my sort of watching history. So the first one is going to be, let me think of the name. I think it is Stephen, I want to say. I might have to come off and just check that. Yep, so I had to quickly go check that and make sure I was getting the right name. Don't want to mess that up straight away. So yeah, it is Stephen. So Stephen over at Icelandic Psycho, I think his channel is called. I will put it up here and I'll obviously link it down below. So yeah, this guy, he's got great energy in his videos. Really funny. I love the way he's presenting of his videos. What I first saw from his channel was he did I think a Blu-ray hunt in obviously Iceland. So it was really nice to see a different country and a guy similar to like a lot of us going out just looking for films, but in a different country like Iceland. It looked really nice. Yeah, I've been exploring his channel. I've been watching a few videos. I haven't spammed his comments on every video. I've sort of thumbs up and you know, moved on to another one. I enjoyed what I've seen. So yeah, I'd really be interested to see, you know, if you want to, feel free to take part in the video to see what your top 10 90s would be. And then on the other sort of like fresh channel in for me that I want to offer this tag out to is a guy called, and I think if I could get this name wrong, I really apologise, but I'm still getting to know you guys, but I think it is Shane, if I'm not mistaken, who is over at Action Ready, I think his channel is called. So I'll put his again details up here to correct myself if not, and below for linking. So yep, so Shane, he's a bit newer channel, so I think I was his 10th subscriber. So he's obviously just starting off. He's got a physical media channel talking about movies as well. He reminds me a lot of me maybe like 10 years ago in both my film tastes and where he's at in life and stuff. So yeah, he's building a collection at the moment for his little young toddler of physical media, so as they grow up they've got a selection of films to go through rather than go through the streaming route. So I kind of related to that a lot. Yeah, and he's into his sort of big blockbusters. He's looking forward to the summer movies coming out and his new movies coming out into cinema and stuff. So yeah, if you haven't seen these guys' channels, check them out. Go and have a look, see what they're into. Obviously give them a sub if you like what you see. But anyway, those are my tags. I made sure I got them in out of the way. So I've got 4 people. Hopefully I'll get at least one come back from that. But yeah, no hard feelings if we don't want to do it, guys. Right, without further ado, let's get on with the rest of the main video. Okay, so when I watched Roy's video, I said to him, I think I messaged him and said, like, I couldn't argue with his top 10. I think there's maybe one in there I hadn't seen. But the rest I would probably, without looking too hard, I would have easily just agreed with him and said the other 9 would be in mine. I don't know how many of these cross over, actually. I think maybe a few do, but with further deep diving into my own collection, I've pulled out, like I say, 10 movies there. I will lose count as I go along, so bear with me on that. But I do want to mention these 4 that were battling out to get into the top 10 and just kept losing and then winning and then losing, but they didn't make it. So we'll start off with a film that I love all these films, so I'm not going to keep trying to say that, but this is a movie called Being John Malkovich. So which one's better? This way's probably better for glare. Right, there we go. Being John Malkovich. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, obviously. Super surreal. Just a bizarre film. I watched this when I was quite young, getting into films. It's such a strange tale. It's hard to explain to anyone. It's literally someone who goes in the mind of the actor John Malkovich, but it's a lot better than it sounds. But yeah, if you haven't seen this one, obviously highly recommend you check that one out. That was a very close top 10 winner. Now the next one it's going to be on a lot of people's list, this one, but it's not that I don't like any films. I love them and they almost got to my top 10. It's just the amount of times I've seen it, the amount of times I've rewatched it, loads of different factors, but it's so close to getting in there, but it didn't quite make it. I'm really sorry for everyone who's a fan of this. I'm a massive fan of this. Shawshank Redemption, obviously I don't need to say anything about this one. This is sort of notorious for being one of the best movies out there of all time, probably. But yeah, that one just didn't quite make it for my personal top 10. Another one, all these are going to raise eyebrows for people, right? But another one which was in the top 10, probably the most out of these for me, and then just lost out, was Fight Club. So I'm a big fan of David Fincher's early work with Fight Club, Panic Room, Seven, all those sort of things. I saw the trailer for this at the cinema when I was watching, I think, the 99 Blair Witch Project, and I had no idea what it was about, but when I checked out the movie, I was absolutely blown away. Just didn't quite make it, but like I say, if I did it tomorrow, it might be in that list. Today it's not. And then the last honourable mention is going to be Wes Craven's Scream. So yeah, big horror fan, and obviously such a classic 90s movie for horror, and did such good work for restoring kind of the sort of just horror in general, basically, and taking a new spin on it and giving it a real sort of shake the rug and just make everything kind of come back to life again for horror. But yeah, they're my 4 honourable mentions. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into the top 10, or potentially bad stuff for a lot of people, but my personal top 10. So this is one that just made it in the list. It was in and out again like the other 4, but it's basically, I studied this one at film, well, I didn't go to film school necessarily, but I studied film for a few years at college, and this was one I studied. So the amount of times I've rewatched this one, probably the fact that I am at the age I am at now, and I relate more to the main character more than I would do back then. The way it's shot, everything about it. American Beauty comes in at number 10. So yeah, really, really good film, obviously. I'm going to try and stop saying that for every single one because it's obvious on a top 10 list. But yeah, American Beauty, I absolutely love this film. Lester Burnham, obviously, is played by... it's played by Kevin Spacey. I'm blanking on his name there. But yeah, I won't go into the details of all these. I'll try and make this quite a shortish video. That's in at number 10. So, number 9... Al Pacino in Carlito's Way. I realised putting this list together, because I did it on my phone first, and then I went through and pulled them all off the shelves, and I think the vast majority of these are all on 4K, so it shows which ones I upgrade to 4K, because I'm not a mad 4K kind of guy. I do it for obviously special movies to me. So yeah, Carlito's Way, really enjoy this one. Such a good film. This is one of those films that when you first watch it, well, for me anyway, I just felt like stunned by how good it was, and when I finished it, you instantly know it's one of your favourites, and it's such a classic film. So yeah, gangster film. Yeah, I won't go, like I say, I'm not going to go into all of these. You'll probably know most of them. They're not exactly hidden gems. This one being another prime example. So this is going to be number 8, American Pie. So yeah, this is the 4K 88 films edition. Just, hit me at the right time, like I've said many times before on the channel, when I was a teenager. Relatable to all these guys, well, some of these guys anyway. Yeah, just super fun. Absolutely love this film. That's in at number 8. I'm doing well with the numbers so far, I think. Now this one and the next one kept flipping places, so they're interchangeable, different day, different order. So this one is number 7, I believe. I'll just say how well I was doing at number 7, Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino. This movie just oozed cool when I watched this one for the first time, and obviously if you've seen it, which most of you would have done, you'll just know. Such a small budget, obviously, such a refreshing kind of take on films when I got to that age and saw the way this was done on, such a limited cast, such a limited budget, almost in one location for a lot of the film in this warehouse, and yet somehow it's so good, just so good. So the one that always sort of was flipping backwards and forwards was this one, and I couldn't quite decide. This is another Tarantino, it's Pulp Fiction. So yeah, Steelbook edition here. Again, I'm not a Steelbook guy particularly, but it just happened to come up at a good price, I think, at the time, and I do like the artwork. So, yep, this one, obviously, again, not many people wouldn't have heard of this one, and probably fewer people maybe have not seen it. But yeah, Pulp Fiction, goes without saying, for me anyway, an absolute staple of the 90s. Just pipping that one for me is David Fincher movies that I talked about earlier, and that is 7. So I still need to upgrade this one to the 4K, but like I said, I'm not a massive 4K guy. Blu-ray is fine for me personally, but I do enjoy the odd upgrade now and again for my absolute favourites. Yeah, but Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, the amount of younger people that I speak to in my everyday life and mention this film, and they've maybe heard of it, but they don't really have a clue what it's about. It still blows my mind. It just makes me feel old. But yeah, really good. Obviously, I've seen Kevin Spacey in this one as well. So Kevin Spacey in this one. I won't say anything just in case, on the off chance there's a few people that still haven't got to this one yet, but it's on their list too. Really good thriller, all about obviously the 7 deadly sins. I'll say no more. Now this one, I think this one was on Roy's list, and he was quite surprised, but this is quite high up on my list. I'm forgetting which number I'm at, so I think this is 4. Yeah, I think this is the number 4 out of 10, and that is Independence Day. So yeah, not ashamed to say, big action blockbuster. So the channel name, Popcorn and Horror. I was into my big popcorn movies when I first started getting into movies, and this is one of the biggest popcorn movies I can think of. Yep, love the alien invasions. I've got one of the Independence Day aliens back here. So yeah, big fan of this movie. I don't need to say any more about that one as either. Next one is another one which I somehow missed completely. I didn't even know it'd come out. I didn't know anything about it, and it was a guy at school. I was just at the back end of high school when this movie came out, and a mate of mine was talking about it, and he was talking to me about it as if it was the most common thing in the world, and I thought, I've never even heard about it. I don't know what you're on about. And he basically said, right, I'll lend you the VHS. So the next day, sure enough, to his word, he brought in the VHS of The Matrix. I remember putting this in downstairs in my parents' house on the VHS player, my hands and knees pushing this tape into the TV. I'm not even sure if I got up off my hands and knees from underneath the screen. It just came on and my attention was just grabbed instantly for the full runtime. And it's one of the very few movies that in my past where the second I finished watching it, my jaw was on the floor for one, I instantly rewound that tape and watched it again straight away. It was like a double watch, like back to back, because it was so impressive. So like everyone knows about The Matrix. I'm not going to go on about it. That's my number 3. So number 2, if you know me, you know the channel, you probably know hopefully that I'm a big fan of this movie, and this one is a Tom Hanks movie. It's a very long movie, but it is The Green Mile. So yeah, again, not a Steelbook guy particularly, but this one it's a 4K in there. Look at that Steelbook artwork. Yeah, if you know about this film. It's such a grounded yet slightly supernatural, which is what I like in a movie. I like it when it's very based in reality, but I can buy a little bit supernatural element to the film, and this is what this movie does for me. Yeah, I'm sure again most people would have seen all these films, so I won't batter on about it. Number 2 on my list of top 10 films of the 90s is The Green Mile. The number 1 spot, there's been clues everywhere in the intro, somewhere else you're probably looking at right now. Jurassic Park. Yeah, so I had to put the t-shirt on just to sell this one. I saw this one as what did this come out in, 93, was it? Something like that? I think I was like 9 years old, somewhere around there. I was about 9 years old and I went to the cinema with my family to watch this one. My God, I still remember that experience. That was a fantastic experience. So, a 9-year-old boy back in the 90s, dinosaurs were the thing, obviously no internet and stuff, so you were just into the things that every boy was into at the time. Some kids went down to sports, some kids went down to dinosaurs and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I was 100% sold. They had the T-Rex, which was my favourite dinosaur as a 9-year-old boy back then, still is probably now to this day. Still looks fantastic. Everyone knows this film. I can't sing its praises enough. I'm sure I'm singing to the choir on this one. But yeah, number 1 top film of the 90s for me personally is Jurassic Park. That is it. So for me, that's quite a short video, 17 minutes there. So yeah, might run a tad over when I put a little bit of intro on it. But yeah, don't forget, tagged video guys at the front there. If you want to take part, feel free. If you don't know hard feelings, no one's going to bat an eye too much, But, welcome to join the fun if you want to. Hope you've enjoyed my list. I'm sure all your lists will be different. Feel free to leave down below what your list would be if you wish to. And I'll see you again for another video. Cheers, guys. Bye.